Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one we have KARTHUS vs Fiddlesticks, farming jungler vs farming jungler. And in this one we're going to investigate the absolute strength of not viewing the game as, hey, I just need to scale. When you bring that late game to the early game, the scaling's done and you can win. And that's also why KARTHUS is actually kind of like an early game jungler in reality. Well, at least most of the time he can be, because you full clear so damn fast. Now, if you're in an elo where you're going to start down here and go up because you need to boost KARTHUS, and you have, say, Exhaust and you're against a Rengar or a Kha'Zix, you can walk into their jungle and invade and kill them with that Exhaust on this champion. So, bear in mind, there are a lot of things you can do on him that most people do not. We'll get into the first strike versus the Dark Harvest debate. We have Dark Harvest for this one, and the Fiddlesticks does have first strike as well. Now, made a meme tweet last week talking about the one thing that makes junglers good. You know, stops you being bad. And it was path bot. And that was kind of the joke. Obviously, there's a lot of ways to play this game, but that was just a joke. However, with this meta, you know, I kind of do want to actually path bot lane, because if you're the Fiddlesticks and you're pathing bot side, and you're the KARTHUS and you're pathing to the bot side, and one jungler has impact where the other one doesn't, you're gonna see those bot lanes snowball, and you're not gonna be happy with the result. Now, if both of you don't have impact, and you let one of them just coin flip, like say, blue team just wins or red team just wins, what are you doing to shut it down? What are you doing to get those leads in other places? But mostly it's because junglers just don't really understand lanes as much as they should, especially considering those huge minion changes. So, we've had coaching, we've had jungle video courses, so of course we still have, but now it's time for a boot camp. June 26th, myself, Virkayu.gg, Gosu Academy, Coach Kaibit, joining together for an all-roles total bootcamp extravaganza. Talking about team fighting this time. We're talking about lanes and minions, understanding what to do and how to make those losing inting lanes you have swing in your direction. I'll be giving you some advanced jungle pathing, some mid-game jungle pathing, as well as, what was I talking about? Invades, things like this. I'll be talking a lot about what we're about to see here. Jungle pathing and denial, the advanced level, things that kind of carry you through all meta changes that could possibly happen, as well as talks about atomization and other sorts of hitting your skill shot accuracy techniques. Everything you need in a bootcamp in one place. June 26th, click the link in the description below, and the first 10 signs will be getting put into a pool to get a free jungle video course for their chosen MMR. So I hope to see as many of you there as possible. Right before the first split ends, and of course, what was I saying? I haven't seen this game obviously. KARTHUS clears so damn quickly, you can just walk into enemy jungle and kill them. Now, we do get the smite from the Fiddlesticks' perspective. That does give us some healing and survivability, but we don't have ignite from KARTHUS, which we could, of course, take here. I'm not really an advocate for that at all. I'm just kind of throwing things out that are possible, although I probably shouldn't do that, because people take me too literally sometimes. Flash is fine, Flash is good, and obviously Exhaust against those kind of Rengar thingies. This is just exactly what I'm talking about. Now, most of you will say, well, I can't do that in my elo. Why? Why not? That wasn't even the fastest KARTHUS clear of all time. Yet he did it. And now we get Scuttle Crab and double Scuttle Control, and we're also going to move into this zone here. We don't need to move here. That's too soon. It's too soon for this. Usually it's around 355 in theory, but if the guy started here and didn't start Raptors, then they won't spawn, right? So if someone starts Raptors, 355 is the marker that you want to use to go and steal the second spawn. In this case, we just walked into the Fiddlesticks' jungle and killed them. You can do this in any MMR because you should be able to clear faster than them. We also saw the Maokai kill the Olaf due to the level 1. So basically we say, okay, cool, my top laner has actually done good poggy stuff. Nice Q. Oof, nice. This is one of the best Kha'Zix plays we have on the server, and he's also playing other junglers now. Do you see how easy it is to snowball on KARTHUS? How easy it is to be an early game jungler? If you put in the time to make your clear truly pristine, anyone that you're playing against and any MMR will not be clearing as fast as you, at all. So it's on you. Do I gank? Do I snowball a lane? Do I invade the enemy jungler? And the typical rule of thumb is always, my friends, always, if your lane is winning, if you have every lane winning, go ahead, suppress the enemy jungler, deny them. Go look at the main channel video I just put out on how challenger junglers actually do that and are able to predict the future almost. And that's why Fiddlesticks is doing this random thing, right? Because he sees the KARTHUS kind of go up here. He's like, well, I can't contest. He's ganking this. I might as well swap field. And now the KARTHUS can go for the vertical, not really vertical, but the counter jungling moment, and the Fiddlesticks is in a bit of a precarious situation. Is the KARTHUS going to keep going down and doing his full sequencing, and therefore I can reverse my sequencing and go topside? Or is he counter jungling me? And if you can't make that mega decision, the KARTHUS wins, and this is why. This has got nothing to do with scaling. Watch them anyway, because they're faster now as well. You see this, like they'll come faster through here. It's got nothing to do with scaling or spiking. It's just good jungling practices, fundamentals that allow you to carry, win, and climb no matter what. Now, we're level 6. This guy's level 5. Well, just dinged level 5. The Maokai does die. That is fine. There's nothing we can do about that. We just place... we could clear, but then, of course, remember, when you clear this, all right, when you clear this, you give vision. So you don't want to hit this if you don't want to be run into. And obviously, with the Fiddlesticks now basically coming to the top side and going, oh, shit, all my stuff is gone, you could be collapsed upon. So don't hit it. We'll get out just fine here. We do have the Jhin mid versus the Ezreal mid, level 6 versus level 5 here as well, because Ezreal has died as well. This is where it can be quite difficult from the Fiddlesticks' perspective, as well as the Karthus's. But not in terms of their MMR, but in terms of you, the people. It looked like, hey, bottom lane is straight up winning, Jhin is straight up winning, top lane is straight up winning. Then this guy dies by himself. Then this guy dies by himself. So the Fiddlesticks is like, well, what can I do exactly? Well, I better path down to the bottom side again. But the Karthus has just optimized his sequencing, his invade, his game plan, his ganking so supremely well. The Fiddlesticks is screwed. And when you understand how to jungle like this, it's meta transcendent, because as most of us know, Karthus was like the only clearing jungler that we had in season 9ish that could actually work. Good ward there, because now we see, and obviously he won't get the scam proc, so that's the nice position for the ward there. The Fiddlesticks will see this, but he has no prio. He will have the Ezreal coming back down, but not really in a position to do much about this, other than maybe sneak it and bounce. But with the Jhin having prio here, we'll just go ahead and sneak this away. Nothing the Fiddlesticks can do, right? And so, the season 9 through current KARTHUS Jungle reality isn't because he's some sort of... we'll get stacks for that. Isn't because he's some sort of rule-breaking jungler, although he is in a little way. Not any much more than a Kane or anything like that. It's just that it enables you to play a certain style that just carries over, whether it's a ganking or farming meta. You'll always find some way to be decent, to be relevant. And yes, sometimes he's weaker, sometimes he needs buffs, and yes, not every jungler is able to do these things. I do fully understand that. But I think the most important thing is when you understand scaling, snowballing, and meta-agnostic jungling fundamentals, everything is possible for your rank, and you can never blame your team, you can never blame anything. Enemy jungler ganked too much. This was a Karthus. We invaded and killed him, drove by this one, would have ganked it if it was gankable, ganked this one, would have ganked it again, but the Maokai died. You know? Also, we were shadowing this because we knew that we could not gank this or dive this, so we'll just take away the Fiddlesticks' gank. And that's the thing, right? I'm going to move to classify ganking as the practice of also preventing the enemy jungler's gank through that invade, through that kind of cutoff, through that pressure. I think it's absolutely huge. And most junglers don't think like that. They just think, hey, full clear. Cool, bottom lane wins. Let me wait for Scuttle Crab. Let me go gank mid lane. Fiddlesticks comes down, ganks your bottom lane. Now your bottom lane that would have won and coin flipped looks like they're inting and losing because you didn't give them what they needed. Which, in all relationships, is sad. Communicate. Work together. Just like junglers and bottom lane should. And look here, we ganked the top lane as well, right? It's not like we ignored top lane. It's not like we ignored mid lane. And that's the funny thing, right? We meme this path bot, but it doesn't mean you don't gank top lane. We path bot, we cut back before we path bot again, we gank it. We path down here, now we can counter jungle. And we can look to do this again, but he died. So we would have had actually 3 possible ganks on the top side, despite the fact we're pathing bot lane. So, memes aside, keep that in mind. The Fiddlesticks is really screwed. He does hit level 6, he's just going to go straight in here because he can. The Olaf has Ghost, the Olaf has R, the Olaf has Flash, but obviously he is going to not get, probably shouldn't have ulted so soon. Let's be honest. Oh, it's tragic, it's painful, it's unlucky, it's skill issue, and the, go kitty, go. We didn't hit it, we get feared. And now everybody's chasing. Karthus will have ult again in 21 seconds, so not quite enough, but should be able to get a kill here. There we go, thank you so much. Suck, but it won't help you. Won't help you. It's close, but won't help him. This is the beauty of this jungling. I love it because now everyone's going, so what should I do as Fiddlesticks? My friends, don't get invaded by Karthus. Think about that. If you're playing versus Karthus and you think, hey, he's going to be pathing in the same direction as me, but either ward, protect, or clear faster, or path in the opposite direction. That's often what you want to do. In this particular case, if I'm the Karthus, yeah, I want to path bot lane. This I would understand, but remember this as well. I think and I understand my matchups, my lane states. So, the Lucian should have prio over the Varus, which means they should be able to push it, and as Ezra rotates to try and stop the Herald, he isn't able to do so. We activate the Magic Shroud on the W, he will flash in and die. Olaf is there, but he doesn't have ult anymore. Run away, clear the vision. Okay, that was good. Hopefully you were paying attention. So, we could punch this, sure, but I'm kind of worried a little bit about Are these damn effigies? I see he's doing this, but you see the minimap, it's gonna frustrate me until they revert it back. You don't want to hang around too low, even though you kind of want to punch this herald for the cash money gold. It's not exactly the... Well, this Olaf is certainly not invited to the ape party, for he is only but a monkey. Anyway, as I was saying, if the Karthus is pathing to the bottom side and you're afraid that you're going to be invaded here because the enemy bot will have prio. So yes, this is smash down. Even though this is gankable, right? Like this bottom lane will be gankable for us. Let's just pause it. But also that means if it's pushed in, the Karthus is not likely going to look for a dive this early in the game. He could and he should because of his passive, but you know, given the minion shift and tower diving shift and the plate shift, you're not going to see as many successful moments as, you know, as before. So what we do is we start here and we go up. We're able to at least get the top lane ahead to take away the Karthus' ability to do what he did this game. This is only possible because what the Karthus is doing is possible because the enemy jungler didn't think about this kind of stuff, right? You can also reverse clear around if you wanted to, but in this case, I would not, right? So we path up top side, we do our stuff here, we take this, we can meet in the middle, right? Or we can just basically say, cool, I reset, and now we can gank the bottom lane in our direction, in our favor, because if it's still pushing with their lane prio, and the Karthus isn't able to dive, we've taken away the invade that suppresses me. I'm able to gank the lane before he is. Even though he ganked top lane, I'm able to snowball the bottom lane. We path top, but we still focus bot. You follow? So that's the kind of mind gaming you should really think about against Karthus. And if you path in the same direction perma, he invades you perma, and you always complain about the speed of his clear, or the fact that he can do that, come on. You can do other things too. You don't have to permanently listen, as we get a stack and kill the Annie as well. Very good champion. I mean, look, I'm not denying that the champion has been busted and is currently very strong due to the last chapter reduction in price, which allows us to finish crucial components a lot sooner, which is, you know, great for mages, obviously, but seems right kind of forget about mages entirely. Only focus on assassins and ADCs and fighters. So now, at a base, you're thinking, hey, why didn't he seek top to bottom? Well, now we can path bottom to top because we can probably bust this sucker open here, although I really want to... I wouldn't want to use my herald here, right? No, I wouldn't want to do that. Because this is easy to snack, even if it's not really too easy tower-taking hunks. You know, here looks a lot better for me, and here is great as well. So we could go top to bottom, but our sequencing is obviously a bit disrupted. We do feel, though, that it's very easy for us to kill the Olaf. Oh my goodness gracious. Easy doesn't even begin to describe it. So we could use it here, which also allows us to get a huge punch into their tier 2, forces rotations from the rest of them. Our team will clean these up, obviously, from that side. So, yeah, we could do, but I don't really feel it's necessary. Yeah, exactly right. Still a good gank path top side, get another gank off here, see the Fiddlesticks going down to the mid lane, and he's there as well. We begin to move, we're level 10, he's level 8, we have a huge lead, we have Leandries with 703, no Dark Seal, which is very interesting here. The Jhin is obviously a bit of an immobile sucker, so we do want to be cautious here. Fiddle no ult, bot lane is just running with it, and if you're the Fiddlesticks, you can say, well look, I tried to help bot lane, you did. But one gank isn't how you snowball a lane. If your players can take that lead and run with it, cool, you did a good job, they can run with it. But very often in most MMOs, they're not going to be able to do that. They need at least like 3 ganks pre-10-11. That's the lane we're camping. And the Karthus' invade allowed all of this to transpire. And the Fiddlesticks compromised his experience, wasn't able to do anything here, and because the Karthus got a lead, his ult also ganked the lane. So if you're the Fiddlesticks here, really you're just a nothingness in this game. Which is tragic, because he's trying, but it starts with the first clear. Don't get invaded and killed. Level 1. I mean, look, we clean up here. That's great. Don't get invaded level 3, level 4 and killed. Don't get pushed out of your jungle. Don't lose the opportunity to make good ganking moves. Especially against a Karthus who can then gank bot, mid, and top way more than you have. And then, of course, when he's ahead, his ulti doesn't even need to get into the lane. So, huge mind games, I think, when it comes to pathing. But I love this because it's 803. It was beautiful early phase jungling. It will work in any single meta. And it's the kind of champion that really thrives in these scenarios. We pull this out as well so we don't get detected, obviously, but, you know, if you're uncertain where it's warded, you don't have a scanner, just make sure you hug the walls. Because here we don't know it's necessarily warded or not warded. It could be warded here too, but if we wanted to drag it and do our best to ensure that we are least likely seen, that's the way to do it, because, you know, they're allowed to ward and you're not going to see every ward placed on the map, obviously. Fiddlesticks is on the top side, which makes sense considering they were on the bottom side, and he's decided to roam a little bit and try and offset the the ADC. Yeah. But again, the Fiddlesticks cannot complain. If you go into Discord, you go into Reddit, you go and complain about this game, you should not. All you say is, I had lanes that were volatile, that I could have impacted a little bit more, but I didn't. And KARTHUS impacted every lane. Maybe with the exception of mid lane, but he did show up a few times, right? And showing up is important. Loading salves, using ults, all of this is good stuff. But now, look at this, the difference. They're running with the lead, but we are 8-0-3. Right? We have the highest KP, we have the most damage, we have the most farm by far, we have all the objectives, we're able to kill people so easily, we have magic shred, and now they're going to try and kill us here. We're out of mana, actually, but, well, they do actually kill us, but this is worth, if they're going to do this to me, this random shit, I'm like, alright. But your base is always the best way to do things here. Now, we do die, and do give a shutdown. We still have more shutdown to give, but it doesn't really matter at this stage. And that's the point I'm trying to bring forth. What if your lanes didn't run with the lead? If you're the KARTHUS, right? Well, nothing's stopping you from reganking the lane if they don't push it and pushing with them. I'm using the Herald in a bit more of a punishing way, and of course, I have coached enough at this point. I've made a lot of video courses, I've hosted a lot of boot camps. The misconception... Hello? The misconception that laners are always inting and always terrible is just a very sad one. Because a lot of times, even in Platinum and Gold, they will push the map like this. Not always, definitely less frequently, but way more than people let on. And in Silver, the classic thing is my laners don't rotate. Laners rotate a hell of a lot more than they ever did in the history of the game. Go watch a Season 8 game, Season 6 game, Season 4 game. Man, rotations wasn't even a term in Season 3 until the end of it, you know? Monte Cristo bringing that dial onto the stage way back when. It's very important that we understand that you are the common factor. Every year, the average player-based skill goes up. These kind of concepts we talk about here get trickled down, and the more frequently you will see them in your chosen games. Never your teammates. Just keep that in mind. Almost never your teammates, the sticklers. The absolute sticklers for specificity. Yes, not 80% of the time you can easily carry these kinds of games. Look at the fiddle over the wall. He's trying to pick it out, make it play. You know, yes, his laners were tragic, but he also didn't do enough plays. The KARTHUS here, exquisite game. His only death is just them goon squatting him. And again, still solo died, but he offset it. It's beautiful. And now the whole idea in these kinds of scenarios is don't farm and relax. Forget these camps. Forget them. Take theirs. Push tier 2s all the way up. Look at this. So our team did a good job here while we were being collapsed upon. But if we have a huge lead and they rotate and kill them all and don't do the turret hitting game, that's cool because we can still come out of base and do the same thing afterwards, right? Someone over splitting, it's always an ADC. They're absolutely terrible. We'll go back in here. We do almost get chunked, like we're super low. But we're able to survive and thrive as the Grim Reaper. Now, Jhin and Lucian are our double ADC stacked comp. Actually, there's 4 ADCs in this game for some ungodly reason. Weak class, guys. It sucks that I pushed past Vision Line and then died to Rengar. Aw. Skill issue always is, always will be. Junglers never feel bad. Enjoy killing ADCs. Here we go. KARTHUS not farming. See, this is where you kind of just let them have a little bit of fun because it's like, okay, look, you could join them here, but you know, there's no waves. We're waiting for the waves. We might as well go farm some camps. When there's no camps to farm and we can kind of rotate and make an impact, we'll do it. Here we go. Nice cube by the Maokai over the wall. He does get exhausted. He does die. The mini wave is crashing. We now have 2 dead. They have 2 dead. It's a 3v3. KARTHUS has ult coming off cooldown in 9, 8, 7. Oh, shit. Will I be alive for it to spawn? Yes, I will be, but I'm not going to use it here. And he goes all in. We're forced to flash again. Flash good in this particular comp. And now we can detach down, hit this plant to see what's up. There we go. Anyone trailing? No. Dragon spawning. Cool. Back to base we go. Replenish our HP. We do go for the Zhonya's. We have Magi's now. And a needlessly large rod. Fiddlesticks over the wall kills the Luciano, as I was saying. Oh, wait. Let's probably watch that again a little bit. Here we go. Fiddle doing Fiddle's things. Who could have foreseen this? Not me. Oh, no. See how he chases and then turns back? Very important. And then KARTHUS can say, well, good night. Sweet Fiddle. Yes. You're learning, right? Through these videos, through both channels, coaching and gameplay, you're seeing the power of focusing on your own impact. And sometimes it means gank first, deny later, and sometimes it means deny first, which gives you ganks. And I think that's such a powerful concept in that jungle wheel of what it means to be a jungler. that I always like to put forward, and I'll talk a lot about this in the bootcamp as well. I talk about it in the courses. It's just such a powerful idea that jungling, is connected through denial of the enemy jungler, tracking to do that, yanking the lanes, getting them ahead, and also focusing on objectives in your own econ. Those three things, just the order can shift about which one is first, but it always just keeps leading from one thing to the next. And when you understand that relationship, that symbiotic relationship between those 3 points, jungling is almost easy. Now, it's not easy, it's difficult. All the micro stuff is difficult, but if you keep those things in your mind as a core function of your existence, right, then you'll typically find yourself making the right plays. Right, I've cleared. Did I deny an enemy jungler? No. Did I do an objective? No. Did I gank a lane? No. Well, shit, maybe I should do one of those things. And then you'll see how it leads to those things. And the Karthus is great at that, Gank is not available, I invade and kill. Cool, can I gank again? No? Fine. Oh, I can gank now. Nice, go do this. Enemy jungler shows here. Okay, I'll counter jungle to deny him, right? All these things get connected. Let's have a look at this while I'm having a spiel about what jungling is. Karthus again, now counter jungling and stealing. We see the TP in the top wave there because the game is largely over. So let's go ahead and, well, he tried to TP to that ward. Well, Ezreal did TP to the ward. Fiddlesticks over the wall, 3 levels down, Milio doing such disgusting things. I mean, Karthus is still squishy. If you miss position and play wrong, you will die. But 14-1-7, 20 minutes. You're going to look at the KDAs and the match history and people will be like, oh, it's bot diff. But watching this game, do you think the Fiddle deserved to win? Let me know in the comments. Not, I don't know what I would have done or what should he have done. Not that. Did he deserve to win? In a Master Grandmaster Challenge game, you should know what to do, right? And obviously, there are games where you just damn well straight up lose. We understand that. So 80% of the games that you play, sure, you have control over them, but if you just focus on raw fundamentals, that's why Karthus is so damn strong all the time. He rewards that categorically by being fast at the things he needs to be fast at. And if a player has the right brains, they will take over. Bring the late game into the early game. And remember that jungling is about the first 12 to 15. After that, yeah, you're there to clear and take objectives. Hit the Nexus, people. Hit the Nexus. We have 2 ADCs. Can someone hit the Nexus to end the game? Kill hungry fuckers, all of them. Fine. He'll do it himself. There we go. See? Plus 50 for the Karthus at the end. So, there you go. Fun little Karthus game. A quick one just to showcase how powerful these things can be when implemented correctly. And yeah, from Fiddlesticks' perspective, Bootcamp will elaborate on all of the synergies and everything you need to know at a very high level from noob to challenger. We will have everyone covered in that 2-week stretch from January 26th. Click the link in the description below to join me on Gosu. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you all